Hello crafty friends, I'm Lien from Studio Kato and I'm so happy to be back with another video. It's been a while, definitely longer than I had planned, but I am back with day 3 and day 4 of the 12 Days of Stitchmas advent calendar from Spellbinders. There are going to be spoilers, you've already seen the spoilers and it was clear on the thumbnail, but I'm going to be using day 3 and day 4 to make some cards here, and I am loving the day 3 ornament. It's so gorgeous. I want to make a ton of Christmas cards with this. I already have too many Christmas cards, but this is just such a good die, and it comes with 2 layers as most dies in this advent calendar. You get the solid outline of that ornament, so you just get a solid ornament, and it would definitely be fun to add some stamping to that and make your own ornament, so you can use it without the stitching. And then you have a detailed layer that you cut out together with the outline layer, and that just adds additional detail and adds all of those stitched details as well, so you can add your embroidery to it. I love it. And it definitely opens up some fun possibilities. Like here, I could cut out that solid layer in gold and it shines through those details as well. For my background, I'm just going to use a 3D embossing folder. It's a really simple background and it always works. And this is the notched corner floral embossing folder from Spellbinders, and I'm doing that with the lemongrass cardstock from Concord 9th. I'm definitely going for a bright color palette for both of these cards today, and I love it. It's a little bit different than my usual Christmas cards, and I am very much enjoying it, especially the orange one. The orange card I'll show you at the end of this video, or the second half of this video. Now I actually made 3 ornaments. I made 2 in light blue, and I'm going to adhere those with foam tape, and I'm also making one in a dark blue. All of the stitching is done in red and all of the details are gold, so they fit together really well and they fit with the background nicely too, so it's really fun. I love this color palette. I really want to make more Christmas cards with this. I'm also going to adhere that 3rd ornament with foam tape, and I'm just going to puzzle here and see how many layers I need to make this level over the other 2 ornaments. And then to finish this off, I'm going to thread some of that gold DMC thread through the hoops of the ornament, and I'm going to loop that back over the back of that panel, over the embossed background. So I'm just going to loop that over, and I'm going to adhere it on the back with some just some regular Scotch tape. You can use your fancy double-sided adhesive. I just don't find it necessary here. This is definitely easier for me while I'm holding that thread in place to just tear off some Scotch tape. I am tying it around the ornament, so I have 2 threads going over the back, because this is very thin, very fine thread, so 2 threads make it a little bit more noticeable, especially on that light green cardstock, because it doesn't contrast very well with the gold, but I didn't want to go for silver here because my ornaments had gold accents as well. Now looking back on this card, I think a rose gold or a copper for the accents instead of the gold would have worked really well with that green cardstock. I just didn't think of it while I was making the card. But yeah, that would have worked gorgeously. This is the Make It Merry Sentiments die set from Spellbinders, and it's 1 banner die, and then you get 3 sentiment die options. And I really love these sentiment dies from Spellbinders. They have a couple of them by now, and I am trying to collect most of them because they're just really easy sentiments. They cut out the letters, but it's just really cool. So only the letters are cut out, and you use the negative space basically. and you adhere that onto I did it onto a darker cardstock here. You can do it the other way around, or just the same cardstock as well. Just a tone on tone works really well as two. So yeah, I really love these dies. They are super, super easy to use. And I always love a banner sentiment because it's the easiest to add to your card or to your layout. It just always works for some reason. I very much enjoy using banner sentiments. This is that finished card. I added a couple of embellishments there, and then it's time to... Oh, actually, this is the second card I made with day 3, and I really love it. It has a better press plate in the background, and then just a pink ornament on top, a couple of embellishments, and that's it. So a really clean and simple Christmas card, but I really like how that works with the better press background. This is day 4. It has a huge sentiment with a stitched ornament on top. So it has a beautifully ornate Noel sentiment. And then on the O, you can add an ornament, a stitched ornament, and there is an ornament topper included, and there is also a shadow die here. Now I cut a bunch of additional layers for this. So the white layer you are seeing me put on glue right now, that is actually 3 layers of white cardstock, I think, maybe just 2, but I think it's 3. And then you have that, again, the lemongrass from Concord and 9th, which is my favorite cardstock to use these days. I am trying to use other colors for the videos to keep it interesting, but I really, really love this color. I have already stitched that ornament. It's really, really easy to stitch. It's just a circle and you go around and around, but I stitched it with silver thread, and this is the first time, well, it's not the first time, but in this series, it's the first time I'm using metallic thread that is not from DMC, and I hated it. Metallic thread is notorious in the stitching world. It's always a little fiddly, but this is sort of elastic and it was terrible to work with. So this is the only time you'll see me use silver thread in this series. And I have ordered now some DMC silver thread as well. So the DMC thread is that gold thread you saw me use for the ornaments earlier, and I love that. It stitches beautifully. It's still a little bit more fiddly than your regular old thread, but overall very easy to use. And it is available at the Spellbinders website. They do come in silver, so I'll try to link both below. Now I am using the Essential Modern Ovals from Spellbinders to make a shaped card. I put a score line near the top of one of my white panels, and I'm using glue to adhere the other panel on top. So just put glue on everything above the score line. That is where you'll adhere your second panel, and that makes up your card base. I also cut out this Essential Modern Oval from orange cardstock, and I'm layering that on top to make an orange card. Again, a very different card than I usually make, or a very different color palette than I would normally use, but I really like how that turned out with the orange and the lemongrass colors. This is the Sealed Christmas Sprigs die set from Spellbinders. It just released this September and I thoroughly enjoy it. I love the sealed flowers from Spellbinders, and this is a little bit of an older die set. I guess it's a couple months old. It's the Christmas bird poinsettia, and I used that to cut out the foliage. So the holly and that little sprig there are all cut from the Christmas bird poinsettia die set, and I'm adhering those on the top and the bottom of the Noel sentiment. And I'm just tucking them underneath. I'm using the sentiment to check if everything is placed nicely. And I used the sealed flowers to cut out those roses. I really like the roses, and they come in a couple different sizes in that set. So I cut out both. I just used white cardstock for those. I thought it would work really well for Christmas, some white roses. And yeah, once the foliage is adhered, I adhered the sentiment on top with some foam tape to layer it up. and then I can arrange my flowers. I've arranged them off camera, but they're not adhered yet. So I'm just going to use a bit of liquid glue to adhere those down. I also used really tiny flowers. I am not sure which die set I got them from. I know I used the Spellbinders die set. They have a ton of tiny flowers, which are really handy for arrangements like this, where you just need a little bit of a flower, but to balance it out. But usually you need a really tiny one. I highly recommend you cut out a bunch of tiny flowers and have them on hand for any time you want to make a floral arrangement. They always come in handy. You always need some tiny flowers, and then you don't have to go digging through your die sets to find those tiny flower dies. I finished this off with some silver embellishments. These are matte silver pearls from Pink Fresh Studio. And that's it. A really bright Christmas card. I really enjoy this color palette. I don't know if I mentioned that once, twice, 3 times. But yeah, it worked out really well. I hope you like the card as much as I do. I am still very much enjoying the 12 Days of Stitchmas Advent Calendar from Spellbinders. And I am editing the videos. They are coming. I've just been busy. Card making hasn't been my priority for the last week. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to be back soon with the next one. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!